HomeSense and HomeGoods are two stores within the TJX family that sell home goods. And while HomeSense is, or at least was, a completely distinct store, it is Canadian. It was eventually bought out by TJX, and these stores function very similarly today. And when you look inside these stores and you look at the kind of products that they have, very similar. We are going to be talking about these two stores today, and we're going to be looking at their TikToks, not people who go shopping in these stores, but we're going to look at the brand TikTok pages because they are crazy. They are so wild. Dare I say, a little unhinged, even in the types of messaging they promote about shopping. To take a little sip of my emotional support coffee. Both of these TikTok accounts absolutely push overconsumption in ways that, yes, are typical of certain brands, or let's just say, companies or corporations trying to sell us stuff, but they don't just push product or try to sell people product. They also push irresponsible ideals or visions, maybe, or just habits around shopping. And there are certain things that brands do generally, like you might have a alcohol brand try and push connectivity via their ads, or you might have like DoorDash push convenience with these ads, or even this time of year, like you love somebody, go buy them a gift kind of thing. Those are intangibles and not about the product themselves, but there are specific habits that are being normalized and pushed by these two brands that I think is so worth talking about. And we're going to look at a bunch of their TikToks today. None of these are going to be censored because you know who we're talking about. So let's get into it. So when it comes to these brands, they do push specific products in that they'll advertise or emphasize, buy this basket, buy this bell, buy this cold bear cup, right? There'll be a specific product that they want you to buy. They make videos like this one. I'll show you an example, which we'll talk more about later, that says, it's not a want, it's a need. This wicker bell, which is holiday decor, is not a want. You need it. Baby, you need a wicker bell. Your life is not complete. You will melt to the freaking ground if you don't have this goddamn wicker bell. I mean, it's super gross language to hear coming from a store, but it also really mimics online language and how influencers talk, which is interesting. Home goods and home scents are super popular on TikTok, and there are products from these stores that do go viral, so to speak, like the beaded bags, as an example. There are specific kinds of ghost paintings, skeleton statues that are super popular, sorry, in Halloween. And there always seems to be an item or two every season that people just really love and they go and they hunt for. And, Home Goods and Home Sense, they are aware of this and they do promote them on their page. I'll show some examples of this in just a minute. And the reason why I'm going to show them is so we can have context for when we see things shift into being about shopping and shopping as a hobby, shopping as retail therapy. And when a brand promotes shopping as a hobby, they win no matter what item you buy. And this has like a specific, I think, connotation with TJ Maxx because there's already this association of go get your coffee, go get your car, wander around TJ Maxx, Home Goods on a Sunday morning and spend 2 hours there. And like, that's just the fun thing to do. They're aware of that image and they stoke it. So on one hand, they give you things to want and buy. And then on the other, they give you a habit to emulate that you are already seeing out there. And then they're just like shoving it forward a little bit. So I'm getting my phone here because now we're going to go look at some TikToks. And we've already talked about the wicker bell. And just to be clear on this, which I'll play it again, the language of this is gross. They're directly, not implicitly, they're directly telling you or suggesting that you shop in a highly emotional state or to view your wants as a need. These things are related because wanting something so bad can feel like a need because of our levels of desire. And I say it's a heightened emotional state because loving something so much and being like, oh my God, I love it, is a heightened emotional experience. And when it's so strong, it feels like you need the item, but really what is driving the show or the car, so to speak, is the desire. You're feeling the desire so strongly. And they're saying, yes, do that. Okay, so let's look at another one. This one says, POV, you just found the viral Christmas bear mug at HomeSense. And in the caption, it says, who needs a lineup when you can find your own cozy bear mug at HomeSense? What they are referring to is the Starbucks Bear Cup. And, don't wait in line. You can just get this one. They are capitalizing on a trend. This is a little bit older now. It's about a month ago at this point when the Starbucks Bear Cup was popular. Honestly, crazy how like a month goes by and the hype has the hype has really died down. They're capitalizing on a trend, which isn't super heinous, but when you get into a trend like while it's trending, you help to create a sense of urgency, or there's already a sense of urgency and FOMO, people who actually missed out. So, you can go and you can get this bear mug if you missed out on the regular Starbucks mug. And they also position getting this mug as a bit of a victory. Like, who needs a lineup when you can find your own cozy bear mug? Like, you can get the thing that you've been longing for. You could just come here, come get it here. It's not just the product, it's the thrill of the discovery. And that is something people go to TJ Maxx and HomeGoods, Marshalls, all of those things for. You hear on that side of TikTok, like HomeGoods is going to tell you what you're going to get because there's so much stuff and the stock changes from store to store. You don't actually know what you're going to find. And people love going to TJ Maxx specifically to hunt for stuff and to see what they discover, which is something that I think you'll see promoted here. Just like go to TJ Maxx to find all these great, wonderful things that you can discover. I said TJ Maxx, HomeSense, HomeGoods. And they do that because they can't just go put a bear mug and link it in their storefront. They can't do that. So it's really smart of them to push specific habits and to get people into wanting the hunt opposed to wanting the product, or go hunt through these stores to find your version. And the Starbucks mug has drawn so much controversy at this point that some people may feel weird about owning it altogether. So you can get your bear mug fix with something that's not the Starbucks bear mug. We're gonna go rapid fire some of these because if I don't, we're gonna try and get through some of these as quickly as possible. This one says, "You're not sad. You just need to go Christmas shopping at HomeSense with your bestie." The caption says, "Turns out all you needed was your bestie a cart in the HomeSense holiday aisles." So freaking gross, HomeSense. Okay, this one says, "This is my Roman Empire." Caption says, "Everyone has a Roman Empire. Ours. HomeSense holiday decor." Listen, I'm all for you having niche things that you care about. I almost don't care what it is. And having niche things that you care about is generally and probably good for you. But for a brand to tell you that the thing that you should care so much about is shopping their holiday decor is not cool. Let's keep going. Holiday decor essentials. So none of these are essential. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So I'm not done. Sorry, I'm really busy. The busy smelling candles. Can't talk right now. The candles need us. That was not so bad. I gotta pause this to read. I needed this in direct quotes. And we are shopping for pillows. The caption says, "Happiness is just one pillow away." You know what would make you happy? Go buy some shit. Calling all holiday girlies. HomeSense is stocked. You know what to do. And then there's a run emoji. Yep, you know what to do. Go run to the store. Just think about that for a second. Something purely existing in a store. Go run. Okay, this one says, I have it paused on the first slide. This and no one rushing me. She has her coffee. Here we go. The caption says, it's time to start feeling the holiday shopping adrenaline. That just sounds like AI to me. Okay, last one. So it's Christmas decor and home scents. The caption says, holiday decor shopping is just another way to self care. And then a little bit lower, shopping for holiday decorations is another way to say taking care of yourself. Direct quotes. Now, a few things to say about these. Most of these are reposts from actual content creators. And what they've done is they'll take the content and sometimes they'll keep what's written on the screen because it's integrated into the video. But in almost every circumstance, they've changed the caption to something far grosser than what the initial caption actually was. I think this does these content creators dirty because the video is attributed to them and as well as, like, the caption, it's like they are endorsing it in a way, and I have no idea exactly how that goes about. Like, does HomeSense have to declare to this person how they're gonna actually use their TikToks on their page? Like, does the person sign off on the caption that they're gonna write? My guess is probably not. So in the TikTok where the creator has her coffee and she's browsing, the original caption says, iced coffee and a browse always. HomeSense changed it to, it's time to start feeling the holiday shopping adrenaline. The self-care one is the most egregious because the original creator wrote, I've already chosen my decor. That's it. I've already chosen my decor. HomeSense changed it to holiday decor shopping is just another way to self-care. What are we doing, HomeSense? There is something genuinely unsettling about a corporation telling you to not only run to the store, because there is one where the person's like, run to the store, but to then tell you that shopping is self-care. Associating self-care with shopping should give everybody pause, and it should give us an even greater pause when it's coming out of the mouth of a corporation. When you repeatedly hear that feeling better means spending money, you can start forming psychological associations between consumption and emotional relief, most especially if you actively practice it. Yes, there are activities out there that are self-care and do cost money. Like, let's take perhaps maybe like the most overt one, like therapy costs money. But if we think about other activities, like let's say taking a bath, taking a bath does cost money and can be an act of self-care. Painting your nails can be an act of self-care. But these are things that you can genuinely enjoy and they can be meaningful to you because of the experience and because of the activity, or because you bring the intention behind it. They serve a purpose that is independent of the purchase. Shopping is different. Shopping is the act of acquiring, and it's not actually the act of caring for yourself. When a brand tells you to run to the store to go get holiday decor or to shop as a form of self-care, like in any way implying that shopping is an act of wellness, they're not actually encouraging you to nurture yourself or care for yourself. They're telling you to self-soothe through consumption. They're teaching or like promoting the idea more like of emotional regulation and self-soothing, making yourself feel better comes from the purchase, comes from the shopping. Self-care, like that word carries real weight. You know, it is tied directly to mental health and well-being, like reducing stress and meeting your emotional needs. When a brand collapses that concept into just meaning shopping, it flattens self-care into something both shallow and transactional. If shopping becomes the primary way that you cope, or you feel on track, or you feel right, or you feel happy, your emotional life becomes tethered to shopping. And shopping, quite frankly, just cannot give you the same things that actual self-care gives you. It at most gives you temporary relief or reprieve from your emotions or like your stress. It doesn't actually help you in any real way to deal with these things. Once you're done shopping, you're still like you still haven't dealt with your emotions or the stress. This is why it feels so off-putting when a brand tries to tell you that shopping is, self-soothing or emotional wellness, self-care. And once we form this connection or this habit of self-care equals shopping, emotional regulation equals shopping, that can be an extremely difficult habit to break. And it's not because you need something. It becomes incredibly easy for you to keep going back and back and back. It's not because you need something, it's because you haven't resolved anything. And you're chasing a feeling that shopping can never actually fully provide for you. You can get stuck in a loop of consumption and train your way into shopping as a coping mechanism or, like, retail therapy, but you don't get much from it beyond temporary relief. It is extra manipulative when it's coming from a brand, like an actual corporation. There's a massive professional entity that's leveraging their authority, emotion, the platform mechanics, cultural norms, et cetera, to prescribe behavior. They are just to make it extra clear, they are encouraging what I believe is a destructive habit. As somebody who has done this, who has gone to shopping to feel better, I am fully aware of the destruction that it causes, and I had to undo it, which took years. They are actively encouraging a specific habit loop. You're triggered, you feel bored, you feel stressed, you feel unwell, you feel anxious, you feel lonely. Maybe you see a post from them that says self-care shopping, or it's time to feel the holiday shopping adrenaline. You go browse the store, hits you at the perfect time. Get a hit of novelty, discovery. Maybe you feel like you've had a pick-me-up because you weren't feeling so great. And maybe you've done this in the past. This was just a little bit of your reminder to go and do it. You feel better because you get that pleasure hit when you're shopping, because shopping is a highly pleasurable activity all on its own. There's enough evidence to suggest that. The emotional relief becomes tied to shopping. You practice that enough times, you build in the habit. And the result is that shopping becomes a coping mechanism. This is like a super condensed and maybe overly simplified habit loop, but that is something that can happen. So, to recap, they're not just encouraging you to shop, they're encouraging you to shop when you're sad, when you're stressed, and like fully supporting the shopping is mental wellness, which is super messed up to think about if you're somebody who's been there. Yes, they're selling home decor, but part of how they're selling it is as a lifestyle oriented around constant consumption. They're selling a personality when shopping is the main character trait. And when a brand tells you directly that your identity should revolve around browsing aisles, that isn't just harmless fun, it's an attempt to colonize or monopolize your attention, your habits, your free time, and your emotional life. They are not just advertising products, they are advertising habits. That is part of why I'm so bothered by this content. HomeGoods TikTok really thrives on user-generated content. There are so many videos of people shopping at HomeGoods, HomeSense. Like it's its own corner of the internet. There's a lot of organic content coming from large creators and average TikTokers. People are naturally posting their shop with me's, their vlogs, their hauls, they're hunting for specific items. Like there are people who have series going into TJ Maxx or Home Goods and hunting for specific items. For the brand, this is a gold mine, and they totally benefit from this. And they benefit from users' enthusiasm without ever really having to pay for it directly, and the platform itself amplifies it. And this dynamic goes beyond cultural capital or social status, because every video of someone wandering the aisles with a coffee, discovering the perfect seasonal pillow, or showing off a viral bear mug normalizes shopping as a hobby. Watching others treat browsing and acquiring as fun, rewarding, and even aspirational teaches viewers that spending time in the store is desirable in and of itself. Over time, it subtly reinforces and normalizes this behavior. And then when HomeGoods reuses these TikToks, they amplify these messages. It gets broadcasted to a bigger group of people, and the effect essentially multiplies. A creator might feel seen when the brand asks to use their content or reposts it, but the larger outcome is the normalizing or reinforcing of these kinds of habits. Users see these experiences framed as enjoyable, fun, relaxing, attainable, and they are validated by both the brand and their peers. Even without direct sponsorships or paid partnerships, HomeGoods captures the psychological payoff of engagement. People feel rewarded for posting or interacting, and the brand benefits from the engagement in the form of repeated foot traffic, sales, and brand loyalty. The cycle becomes self-perpetuating. TikTok amplifies user content, the brand curates or reposts it, users internalize shopping as an enjoyable activity, and the behavior becomes habitual. I also find it kind of telling that these videos are so perfect that they can become indistinguishable from ads. Like even when these brands create their own content, it looks scary similar to influencer content because these videos are ready-made advertising tools essentially. Just think about that. Like, we talk all the time on this channel about how we really need to view influencer content that way, and this is just like another example of, yeah, these really are basically like ready-made advertising tools. So we're going to play a little game of, is this UGC or is this branded content? So I'm going to play this video on the screen for you. Which one is it, UGC or brand? Take a second, look at it. Look at it. What is it? It's a brand content. All right, another one. UGC or brand? It's brand. Last one. UGC or brand? What does it look like to you? UGC. So I want to end on the cultural implications of this. This content doesn't just reflect culture, it also shapes it. By normalizing constant engagement with consumer culture, home goods, and home sense, they frame shopping not just as optional, but desirable. Like they are actively promoting what is essentially a consumer-centric lifestyle. TikTokers can share their experiences organically, and also enthusiastically. And viewers can internalize this as how they should be spending their own time or what their life should look like. And when this is also coming from big influencers, their lives can be aspirational. And shopping at TJ Maxx or HomeGoods is more accessible than some other stores. And so they could live like the influencer life, the influencer who's made it or who's wealthy, and this is what wealth and making it looks like. I could have a little bit of that too. The broader effect of this is essentially a feedback loop. The corporation curates and reposts user content, which also gives it authority. And these TikToks don't exist in isolation. They exist alongside all of the other shopping and consumer driven content, all of the other shopping as a hobby content that exists outside of the TJ Maxx sphere. It exists within that context. And so it's just like another message, another type of content, another brand, another way for shopping to be normalized as a hobby. It's just one more message that self-care is shopping or shopping is self-care. It's not as though TJ Maxx or HomeGoods or HomeSense came up with this idea all on their own. These are messages that already exist, that they're just lending their own like stamp to, that they are normalizing and that they are agreeing with, which also serves to benefit them financially. I'm talking about the brand here. And the brand isn't just selling items, they are selling this experience and normalizing the act of shopping as a hobby and shopping as self-care. And also, like in the mix, is the social validation that comes from participating in these activities. That's everything for me today. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you enjoyed taking a little bit of a look at HomeSense Home Goods TikTok. Be curious to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again around here soon for a new one. Bye.